John, today's question comes from Chris, and he said, you recently had The Good Life Abroad on the podcast. We did. And John, this was an episode that I interviewed the owner of a company called The Good Life Abroad. And this company arranges international living for you.
Right. Yeah.
Short term.
Yeah. Like 1 month, 3 months, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was really neat. And they have all of these different European destinations that you can go live in these different places in Italy or London or wherever it is. And you pay them a sum of money and you live in this nice luxury apartment for a month or two. You have other people that are also traveling. It sounded really neat. When I heard his story, I thought, man, let's have him on the podcast because I know retirees love to travel. And so now Chris is asking me, do you plan to take a trip with the company? If so, I would like to hear your review of your experience as I found this company interesting.
Are you old enough?
I'm not. So
that's what I was about to say.
Yeah. So Chris, unfortunately, the age is 55 and up, and I'm not yet 55. I've still got a little while to get there, but I'll tell you, I too was intrigued. And I mean, this is not an affiliate relationship we have or anything like that. I've just always found travel to be confusing.
Yes.
Especially the first time you go somewhere. There's so much that you have to know to really maximize that time that you're going to be there. You almost need 2 trips somewhere to fully enjoy it, right? But you don't have enough time for that.
Right.
You need to go somewhere the first time, see what it's all about, do your little exploratory trip, and then plan your real trip. And at that point, then you know all the things that you want to do while you're in this spot.
Yeah. Although I do, every time my wife and I travel, this is always a conversation that she and I will have is, what would it be like to stay here for a month? Mm-hmm. And so I'm kind of like you. I'm a bit more intrigued by this idea because, yeah, in 3 days, you get enough time to do a bunch of touristy things.
Yes.
But you really don't learn the flow of the community and,
right.
You haven't made any local contacts. You're not, yep. There's not a day where you're just like, I've got nothing to do today. I'm just going to go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. You're getting on a bus and jumping off at the big popular sightseeing spots, snapping a few pictures on your phone, getting back in the bus.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even like our recent trip across Central Europe, where we had a car and we drove from Prague to Budapest, I mean, that did give us a lot of, exploratory options on our own and stuff, but still you're moving constantly, right. Because we're just like, we got to leave this day because we got to get to the next town to check into our hotel. And here's my spreadsheet with my 5 things that I want to see along the way or
yeah.
in that new location. And so, yeah, you're moving. But on that trip, we really liked Krakow.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love the idea of spending a month in Krakow to really get a feel for the community and the town, and then I can take a little day trip out into the country if I wanted to, or something. Just yeah. I'm with Chris. I really like the idea. Don't know anything about doing it with this particular company. Haven't experienced that. Although my wife turns 55 this year.
Oh, you're qualified. Well, The Good Life Abroad, if they're still listening to the show, maybe they should consider sending you on a trip so you can come back and tell our listeners.
Or
how was it?
Yeah, exactly. They could send me and Lisa, and then we will do an episode. I like this idea. I do. I think this is a fantastic idea.
You're liking it better and better as we talk about it.
Yeah, I am.
So, no, Chris, I haven't taken a trip. And I don't know that I ever will with The Good Life Abroad, but I certainly like their approach, and it sounded refreshing to me.
Yeah,
to be able to go somewhere where there was a local guide that could do things, and you weren't lost. I'll give you an example, John. We recently found out that my ancestors are from County Offaly in Ireland.
Yes. You sent me a very long text message about this.
That was fantastic. I was very excited about
You were clearly, and you're sending it to me at like 10 o'clock at night or something. And you know I go to bed at like 8:30. So
wake up and look at my family tree. That's what I was saying. So I want to go there, right? So we would fly into Dublin, and you can do a direct flight from Dublin or from DFW to Dublin, and then once we get to Dublin, we would drive. There's some Airbnbs, but then once we're there and we go tour the old family castle that's still there, you can look it up, Leap Castle. It's pretty cool. It's considered to be the most haunted castle in Ireland.
That seems on brand.
Yeah, I suppose so. So once we go there and we do that, then what do we do? Right? I've never been to Ireland. Frankly, I know people that's probably been, but they probably did some of the touristy stuff. How do you plan that trip? I don't even know. I wouldn't even know where to start. And then while we're in Ireland, I'm afraid I would come back and tell you, John, I went to Ireland. Oh, that's awesome. So did you catch Scotland while you were there? No. Well, you were right beside it. What? I kind of knew that, but I didn't know I needed to go there.
Right.
That kind of stuff, right? And having an experienced guide like that, I think, would be great. So, Chris, we'll let you know as soon as John and Lisa get their trip lined up.
There you go.
Spend a month in Krakow.
Or someplace.
All right. Chris, thank you for your question. To the rest of our listeners and viewers, you can go to bigpictureretirement.com. Up at the top right-hand corner, leave your question there. Take care.